Good evening. I'm Jack Cooney. Welcome to Talkin Sports. So who am I and why am I here? That's a reference to Admiral James Stockdale in the 1992 presidential election when he was a candidate with Ross Perot back then. That's the last political reference I'll ever make, luckily for you at home. I'm Jack Cooney. I'm the proud parent of 3 former Mansfield High School athletes. We're here to talk about Mansfield High School sports. Tonight's the introduction show. Some of you I'm sure most of you know me around town, but we're going to talk about Mansfield sports. We've done Talkin Soccer with David Cass and Mark Murphy, so this is kind of an offshoot of that. It's kind of the brainchild of Jack O'Neill. Thanks, Jack. So we're going to give it a whirl. Luckily for everybody at home, this will be the last time. It'll be a solo show. Going forward, we'll have guests. Some of the guests will be coaches of the teams, athletes of the teams, specifically captains and seniors, or potentially underclassmen. We're going to have administrators. Joe Rousseau, the athletic director of Mansfield High, is going to be on. Hopefully, Teresa Murphy, if she accepts their invitation. We'll have some people from hawkmocksports.com, including editor Josh Perry. We're going to plug hawksports.com all the time. We're going to talk about standings and records. And if you haven't checked out hawkmocksports.com, check it out. It's great information if you're a sports fan. So, as you can see, I'm wearing a University of North Carolina basketball shirt just to make my son upset because he went to Villanova, and that's the last time I'll talk about college sports. Hopefully we all like the Patriots, the Bruins, the Celtics, the Red Sox, and that's all fine and good, but there's professionals that I'll talk about there. I'm strictly an amateur. This will be a low-tech show, low-key, fun, positive. Anytime we talk about athletes at high school level, it's going to be negative, no negative, so we invite all you athletes out there to come on the show. And I'm going to ask you softball questions, even if you don't play softball. One time Luke Savoy, captain of the soccer team, which we'll mention him later on, I asked him what his favorite color is. So it might be a little more in depth than that, but that's the kind of thing we're looking for. We want you to talk about your team, mostly. If you want to give a shout out to your coach or some other teammates, that's fine. So what else want to talk about? I think that's it. Oh, future guests besides the ones I mentioned are Chris Hall, who's the golf coach and the baseball coach. For the first 2 shows, we're going to cover fall sports because it's mid-September and that's what we're looking at. But hopefully we'll go all the way through the spring. And if you're a spring sport like lacrosse, you'll get your chance. Kevin Smith, the girls soccer coach, will be a guest coming up soon. And hopefully people out there like soccer moms and soccer dads too. So. We don't have any graphics tonight, but when you look at this, you'll see some graphics. And we're recording this September 19th, so if any data you see is outdated, don't blame me because I'm not a forecaster. Even though I like to make predictions, I'm usually wrong. So if you want to take my bet, you're gonna lose money or win money if you bet against me. So hopefully you can see this at home. But the standings as of September 18th for the Mansfield Fall Sports Team, the football team is 1-1. They had a tough loss to Everett, which is probably going to be the best team in the state. The boys soccer team, 4-0-1. They're first place in the Kelly Rex division. The golf team, which I believe includes at least one girl, so it's kind of boys and girls combined, is 2-0. They're tied for third in the Hawk because they've only had a couple of matches because of the rain and the extreme heat, as you're all aware of. The boys cross country team, 1-0. The season got off to a little bit late start. Obviously tied for first. The field hockey team, 4-1. Shout out to Coach Teresa Nyan. Hopefully she'll be a guest. If she isn't, we'll make her. The girls soccer team, Coach Kevin Smith, 4-0-1, tied for second, or in second place. I think King Philip is undefeated, so they'll be playing them very soon. Volleyball team is 2-2, tied for third. Girls cross country is 1-0 also. Total, if I did my math right, which I'm a math guy, so I just did this in my head. 19-4-2 after the first 2 weeks of the season, which is a winning percentage of 826. 82% of the games they've won. A couple of the ties is a wash, so that's pretty impressive. So keep up the good work. Later in the year, I'm gonna sign points. So if you come in first, you're gonna get 6 points because there's 6 teams in the Kelly Rex. So we're gonna do some mathematical formulas just for fun and see which team is the best in the Kelly Rex. My money's on Mansfield, so we'll see. Mostly we're going to focus on team sports in the show, but of course, teams made up of individuals, and each week or bi-weekly, the show will probably be bi-weekly. We're going to talk about some certain individuals. This week, just a handful, and leading off, we're going to talk about Luke Savoy. Hopefully around school, you know, Luke Savoy, he's a senior. He's the captain of the boys soccer team. He was voted Hockomock Sports Athlete of the Week, which is pretty impressive because it covers all fall sports, boys and girls from the 12 Hockomock towns. Gets voted on by fans, but the editors have a big say. And just in the week he was voted, he had 6 goals, 2 hat tricks, which in my time following boys soccer, back-to-back hat tricks is unheard of. So very impressive, well-deserved. As of today, he's got 8 goals in 3 games, so pretty impressive. Way to go, Luke. 5 out of the 8 teams so far that I mentioned are undefeated, pretty good. That's why they have an 83% winning percentage. The girls soccer team is they're undefeated, but their biggest win to date is an out-of-league game. They beat Danvers, which is the defending 2 state champions. So I think it was a 1-0 game in extreme heat about a week and a half ago. So shout out to Kevin Smith and his girls. On the soccer front, or I guess it's called the Lynx, Ryan Dow is leading the Hawk in golf with the lowest scoring average of 36.5, which they play 9 holes in their matches except when they get to the league championships and the state meets. So that doubles to a 73, which, you know, if I break 100, I'm impressed. So, and I believe he's a sophomore, if I didn't mention that already. So I'll confirm that. By the way, anything I mentioned, I want you to fact check. My good friends know, or my limited friends know that sometimes I misspeak or speak too quickly and I misstate my facts, but all well and good. So just fact check everything, please do. Steph Kemp from the girls soccer team is tied for first in Hawk with 6 goals through first 5 games. She's a senior captain, I believe. Great player. She's a striker. The boys cross country team has only had 1 meet, but they were led by 5 seniors. You know, some years they're, you know, sophomore, junior mix, but the 5 of the 6 top kids were all seniors, led by Pat Heavey and Paxton Howard, 2 of the captains. So good job out here. One thing about the football team off the field, I didn't get a chance to go myself, but they had a special ceremony, their first home game against Everett. I think it was called the Field of Honor. Hopefully you guys were there. In the corner, they had a special ceremony with the veterans. They had, I believe, 6 flags, the 5, you know, services of the U.S. government, and, you know, the Massachusetts flag. It was really nice. They had a Black Hawk helicopter, and it was very impressive. Coach Redding did the right thing. So shout out to all you veterans and those who've served in the military. So that's about it. It's a quick show tonight, and I'm gonna, again, we're gonna show on the screen how to contact me. I told Jack O'Neill it's gonna be 20 minutes, but I guess I talk faster than I do. So we're gonna have trivia every week, and, you know, I'm gonna start it easy. As we go along, I'm gonna have harder and harder trivia. But of the sports I mentioned, which I'm gonna go back through them again: football, soccer, golf, cross country, field hockey, volleyball. Of those sports, I thought it was 8, but it might be less. Which of those 2 do you win by having the lowest score, not the highest score? So which of those 2 sports do you win the match or the game by having the lowest score? So that's the trivia question. Again, they're going to get much harder than that. Those of you on the blank team and the blank team should know that. So, and one thing we're looking for here is feedback. I reach out to all the coaches, gotten a great response so far. But if you see the show, you see me around town, just use the word sports buzz. And that means you're watching the show, because if, unfortunately, the ratings aren't good to the show, they're going to cancel it, and my guarantee contract is going to be for naught. So if you see me around town, give it out a short sports buzz. Speaking of which, I said at the top, we're going to call this Talking Sports, but that's open to suggestion too. Some of the suggestions I've gotten already are, my favorite is the Jack Cooney Show. I think we should vote for that, because it's all about me. No. Another one is Hornet Sports Bar, which was my suggestion. So what about this? Another one I got from a good friend is called Inside the Hive. That might be a winner. Talkin Sports, which you mentioned, or anything else. Just give a shout out. My contact information is going to be on the screen. It's Jack Cooney, jadajocooney@yahoo.com. It's a very unique email address, JADAJO Cooney, COONEY @yahoo.com. Please contact me, and thanks for watching. Good night.